This program will look at typical applications governed by the Code of Federal Regulations. The viewer must determine if the examples shown here apply to their particular operation, equipment, and personnel. When performing inspections, tests, and maintenance, you must refer to the current Code of Federal Regulations and your company's operating rules and maintenance instructions. This program will explain the regulations and procedures found in 49 CFR 232, Brake System Safety Standards for Freight Trains, Subpart C, Inspection and Testing Requirements. Any person who violates any requirement of this part or causes the violation of any such requirement is subject to a civil penalty. Any person who knowingly or willfully falsifies a record or report required by this part is subject to criminal penalties. In this program, you will see parts 232.203 Training Requirements and 232.205 Class 1 Brake Test Initial Terminal Inspection. This program includes a task checklist that should be used while you watch this program and while you perform these brake tests. 232.203 Training Requirements. Each railroad and contractor will adopt and comply with a training qualification and designation program for its employees that perform brake system inspections, tests, or maintenance. The program will identify the tasks related to the inspection, testing, and maintenance of the brake system that must be performed and identify the skills and knowledge necessary to perform each task. The training will include both classroom and hands-on lessons. All employees must successfully complete the training, and all employees must pass a written or oral examination and demonstrate hands-on the skills and knowledge needed to perform the inspections, test, and maintenance. Refresher training must include classroom, hands-on training, and testing, and must be repeated at least every 3 years. Railroads using two-way end-of-train devices must have training that covers the testing, operation, and maintenance of those devices. Railroads operating trains that require the studying of air brake pressure retaining valves must have a training program on the use of those valves. Railroads and contractors must maintain records of workers qualified to inspect, test, or maintain air brake systems. Inspections. 232.205 Class 1 Brake Test Initial Terminal Inspection. Every train and every car in the train will receive a Class 1 brake test at the location where the train is originally assembled, its initial terminal. A location where the train consist is changed other than by adding a single car or a solid block of cars. The block must be from a single train which was previously given a Class 1 test. Removing a single car or a solid block of cars. Removing cars determined to be defective under these regulations, or a location where the train is off air for a period of more than 24 hours. A location where a unit or cycle train has traveled 3,000 miles since its last Class 1 brake test. And a location where the train is received in interchange if the train consist is changed other than by removing a car or a solid block of cars from the train, adding a previously tested car or a previously tested solid block of cars to the train, changing motive power, removing or changing the caboose. B. Except as provided in 232.209, each car and each solid block of cars added to a train shall receive a Class 1 brake test as described in paragraph C of this section at the location where it is added to the train unless 1. The solid block of cars is comprised of cars from a single previous train, the cars of which have previously received a Class 1 brake test and have remained continuously and consecutively coupled together with the train line remaining connected. Other than for removing defective equipment, since being removed from its previous train and have not been off air for more than 24 hours, or 2. The solid block of cars is comprised of cars from a single previous train, the cars of which were required to be separated into multiple solid blocks of cars due to space or trackage constraints at a particular location when removed from the previous train, provided the cars have previously received a Class 1 brake test, have not been off air more than 24 hours, and the cars in each of the multiple blocks of cars have remained continuously and consecutively coupled together with the train line remaining connected, except for the removal of defective equipment. Furthermore, these multiple solid blocks of cars shall be added to a train in the same relative order, no reclassification, as when removed from the previous train, except for the removal of defective equipment. Summary. Every train gets a Class 1 brake test where the train is originally assembled, where the train consist is changed, where the train is off air for more than 24 hours, where a train has traveled 3,000 miles since its last Class 1 brake test, and where the train is received and interchanged if the consist has changed. These items may have exceptions under some circumstances. A Class 1 brake test of a train shall consist of the following tasks and requirements. 1. Brake pipe leakage shall not exceed 5 psi per minute, or airflow shall not exceed 60 cubic feet per minute. A leakage test. The leakage test shall be conducted as follows. A. Charge the brake system to the pressure at which the train will be operated, and the pressure at the rear end of the train shall be within 15 psi of the pressure at which the train will be operated, but not less than 75 psi, as indicated by an accurate gauge or end-of-train device at the rear end of the train. B. Upon receiving the signal to apply brakes for test, make a 20 psi brake pipe service reduction. C. If the locomotive used to perform the leakage test is equipped with a means for maintaining brake pipe pressure at a constant level during a 20 psi brake pipe reduction, this feature shall be cut out during the leakage test. And D. With the brake valve lapped and the pressure maintaining feature cut out, if so equipped, and after waiting 45 to 60 seconds, note the brake pipe leakage as indicated by the brake pipe gauge in the locomotive, which shall not exceed 5 psi per minute. Airflow method test. When a locomotive is equipped with a 26L brake valve or equivalent pressure maintaining locomotive brake valve, a railroad may use the airflow method test as an alternate to the brake pipe leakage test. The airflow method AFM test shall be performed as follows. A. Charge the air brake system to the pressure at which the train will be operated and check that the pressure at the rear end of the train is within 15 psi of the pressure at which the train will be operated, but not less than 75 psi as indicated by an accurate gauge or end-of-train EOT device at the rear end of the train. And B. Measure airflow as indicated by a calibrated airflow meter which shall not exceed 60 cubic feet per minute. The airflow meter indicator shall be calibrated for accuracy at periodic intervals not to exceed 92 days. The airflow meter indicator calibration test orifice shall be calibrated at temperatures of not less than 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Airflow meter indicators shall be accurate to within plus or minus 3 standard cubic feet per minute.